Hey everyone, Corey here, coming in to do the energy update for the full moon on the 15th. Now, I don't know if you're feeling as tired as I'm feeling, or if you're feeling the effects of the shadow energy the way I'm feeling it. But it is some crazy energy. And it's I don't know, it feels very out of sorts. Now, for myself, with this, I don't have, like, not that we don't have Gemini in our chart, but I don't have Gemini in this planet actually in my natal, like that. It doesn't, that's my missing element. That's kind of that's my missing planet. And and I'm weak in air, right? I don't have planets in, I only have one planet in air. And so I'm feeling the influence of this energy that is coming from the Mercury retrograde, the Mars retrograde, and then now this full moon energy, and feeling the essence of the shadow effect is what I'm getting. And so if you're noticing, if you're feeling the energy, if you feel like kind of you're still getting somewhere, you still feel motivated, but you may be feeling the breakdown moments, you may be feeling the experience of this. Share in the comments with me what all of this energy has been like for you, because there was a big hype and there was all this hurrah that was around. Oh, we're out from Pluto and Capricorn and we've gone into a new era, and we're now in the Capricorn, we're now with Pluto in Aquarius, we're moved into the age of Aquarius. And it's like, oh, now it's going to be like all this good things, and things are going to be great, and you're going to be just thriving, especially if you're a cardinal sign. And that's not really a truth, not in the beginning. We're just in that new stage. And so just like the new mother getting home with a child and being exhausted and tired and having to do all of the details of that comes with that new role and trying to fit into that new role, you may be feeling the effects of that. And so that energy is here. And so there is like the after effects is what it feels like. And so as we come into this moon, is we are being presented with a lot of opportunity, but also a lot of challenging energy has been presenting itself. And it doesn't mean in always in difficulty in our lives. It could be in how we are feeling. So how are you all feeling? You know, how you're feeling in this season. How are you really truly feeling? And it's a time to really not kind of mask and hide that, but to acknowledge it, to deal with it, to not to run from emotions, to be a part of your emotions, to exist in those emotions, to allow yourself, give yourself permission that it's okay to not be happy today. It's okay to be sad, but it's also okay to be happy. So one thing which you know, for anyone who watches my videos, you're probably going, hey, Corey got lipstick on. I always wear a nude or natural color. And in my younger years, I always wore bright red. Well, I was in the store today and I was looking at makeup, and the young girl said, we got a whole bunch of makeup on sale. And I said, really? She said, yeah, and these lip gloss. And I said, well, that's one of my favorite brands. I love that plumping lip gloss. And so she laughed, and I was looking, and I could hear my grandmother. And my grandmother, Pansy was her name. She was a twin. And she always wore long lasting, like Revlon lipstick. That was her thing. And I have been feeling her for days, and I've been feeling her with me for days. And she was, and so she always had her lipstick on right until she passed away. She wore her lipstick. And I just knew that this was her. And she was telling me that I needed something. She says, I wore my red lipstick for a reason. And that she wore her red lipstick because it was the one thing that could brighten the day, right? If you put it on your face and you're wearing it, it just brightens things up. It makes you look brighter. It brightens things up. And I had stopped wearing bright lipstick for a long time. And so yeah, so I picked it up, I brought it home, and I put it on. And first I'm like, that's ridiculous. I can't wear that. That doesn't look good. And so I said, nope, you're not quitting on you today. You're not quitting. You're not just going to discount something because the initial trying of it doesn't really look the way you want it to look. Go upstairs, get your lip liner, put your lip liner on, and get your lip liner. And so my higher self was speaking to me today And in the meantime, I had been at the grocery store and I had a cry and a breakdown in the grocery store. Like, it's just been that kind of day. I know that my daughter is missing me. Like, there's just so many things that can really truly take us down emotionally and spiritually right now. There's so many things that can really truly make us really be just so kind of disappointed, let down, discouraged. That energy is here. So on top of the kumbaya that's all been like floating around, it's like, no, this is reality and there's a real truth in there. So anyway, found a way to make the lip gloss work. And when I sat down to record, I started to smile. And I'm like, I see something of myself that I haven't seen in a very long time. And I know the point in my life of when that version of myself had died. And seeing something of myself that came back and seeing it and not seeing it for a long time was just like seeing my grandmother today, feeling my grandmother, knowing she was with me, that part of her that I missed. And she was that rock for me. And she was that inspiration. And so when we are going through these times or these moments, or when we're traveling through retrograde energy, or we're feeling the challenges of life, it is really important to pull the strings, to really pull in those those things that can brighten up a day. It doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be costly. These were on sale for like $1.98 at Rexall. But it can be like the simplest little things. You can call in your guides. You can call in the angels. You can find that one thing that you can use to be able to inspire you today, to be able to give you that inspiration to be able to go forward, move forward, to be able to step up, step in to your energy and into your truth and into yourself, right? Because everything that can make us feel better actually exists in us. And it really wasn't the lip gloss. It really wasn't. It was the spark of joy that was illuminated in the remembering and in that connection with spirit. Because what did it do? It rose my spirit. And it got me to move from the emotions and to drop into spirit, to get into my spirit and to feel the real true identity of who I am. And so this is what we're here to do. This moon is asking us, this energy is asking us, it is communicating us to us in a way to find our way to get back into that space and the place of where we can spark that one thing inside of us that motivates us, that gets us to rise up, that reminds us why we are where we are, why we're doing what we're doing, and why that even on our saddest days, even on our worst days, there is something inside of us that is working on our behalfs, and that is our soul. And that your soul, the essence of your soul, the spirit that illuminates from that soul, has a identity. It has the potential, because it has your truth. It has your happy days. It has your courage. It has your spiritual courage. It has your spiritual strength. It has all the things that you need to rise you up and to give you the courage to wear something like the lip gloss that I have not worn in a lot of years. And so finding that spiritual courage, finding that spiritual strength, and being a part of that. Now, on the other realm of all of this energy was the sense of the divide. And so I keep seeing justice, and I keep seeing the justice card, and I keep seeing balance, right? And coming into the balance and getting to the center, right? Coming back to center, getting home to ourselves, getting back to what is important, what is a priority. Now, Gemini has two faces, right? And it's Gemini has two energies. And so it's got, and it has to consult. So Geminis, they have to consult with this side and that side of themselves. And so this is where we have the potential to consult with your masculine, consult with your feminine, and then be able to allow the divine expression to be what moves us, that motivates us. And this is where our soul, our source or God will, right? So that divine will, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is for you, creator. And so the will of creator, the will of God, the will of source, the will of is here to help us to rise up and to help us rise into. And this is what connects to our soul. And we feel this being pulled, we feel this expansion. And so this morning I had a beautiful message and a beautiful confirmation of my dream last night, and I could feel and sense the Sephirim angels. And so there is this pull, the Sephirim angels, and just seeing these big wings and seeing all aspects of this Sephirim rise up, and all eyes opening, and all eyes are on who are on our highest self, and are on when we show up, and who we're going to show up, and then how we're going to show up. And so there is a sense of having to make choices. So we're here in a pivotal turning point in our lives of where we're going to have to make some choices. And we're having to make choices of, do we continue to do the things or stay in positions or stay in places where we don't feel like we belong, or we don't feel is for us, or we're making choices to move into a place of trust and faith that we're being moved into, of the possibility of something new, something better. And we can't get to that something new and that something better if we keep holding on. And if we keep hanging on to the old, if we keep hanging on to the old hurt. And if the sadness is what's anchoring us, and we're anchored to the sadness, eventually the sadness will become anger and will become resentment. It becomes so many other things, but the sadness is not there. It's just that we still relate to the sadness story. And so we hold on to that until, do we hang on until it kind of it destroys something inside of us. And so there's something that is releasing us, or asking us to release, to open our hands, to let go, to allow our hearts to open, to allow the divine expression. So in this moon and through this energy, I don't know what's going down out there, but all I know is that we are going to see a big, massive, heart opening. We're going to experience, and where I'm living right now today, there was something that happened, an accident or something that was just outside of our city, and all the traffic's been piled up all day. And I drove home at 4:30 and it was still piled up. And so there's things that happen throughout our day that we have no idea, right? There's always these things that are happening where other people's lives are impacted and other people's lives are changing. And there's always somebody who's in a situation or in a place today where their lives just changed all of a sudden. And we never know when those life-changing moments are coming. We never, those moments, those unpredictable, the things that we can't see are the things that come flying in. So we never know when life is going to take us on one of those journeys. And because we don't know it, we're being asked to really, truly honor our moments, to embrace our moments, to find the things in our moments that does spark a sense of inspiration, a sense of joy, and that we can really, truly choose that. We're choosing, and what are we choosing? And so if we're choosing to continually to be trapped in a narrative or a story, we'll be down the same road, right? So we are so close to ending, and this week's energy update is all about this. We're so close to, ending that chapter, or closing the book on another year. Another book is done, another year is done, another year be gone. And it's like, and it's funny how we're like, well, I can't wait for this year to be over. I can't wait for this year to be done. Well, it's only because you have numbers that are attached to it that tells you it's a year. If you didn't know there was a year, it would just be another day, right? It would just be the continuation of another day. But because we are attached to the year, right? And so we have that year that we know. So, the yesterday is over, the past is over, the things are over, but it's what we are left to carry with us and what we are left holding. And this is where our lessons, our blessings, and our gifts all exist. And so we have that sense of the lessons, the blessings, and the gifts, and all things that are speaking and communicating to us through this energy. And so what lessons have you learned? What is in your face right now? So what is in your present moment and present experience? What is this moon? What is this shadow energy bringing up for you that is saying to you that there is something that you're holding onto, or there's something that you keep holding that is being bothersome to you today, or you may be feeling the energy of it. I keep hearing rejection. I don't know what the rejection is or who got the rejection, but I keep hearing this sense of rejection or something that's going on, or being misunderstood, or not being able to communicate what it is that really truly needs to be said. And I'm feeling a little bit that I'm feeling like I'm all over the place here. But there's something that is there that is just saying the light is shining up on it, and not to judge it, not to criticize it, not to shame you, but to say it's highlighting that area of our lives that where we look back and we can see where the original source is, and what that original source of our pain or hurt or our shadow aspect that is ready now to move forward, ready now to move on, so that we can begin to close that book on that story, on that narrative, on that pattern, on that habit that has consistently and constantly been in your life. And the other aspect, and I'm coming back to the lip thing, is what is returning, what is being returned through what has been transmuted back to us is that which we have released and let go of over the past couple years. And so wherever you were and whatever had taken place in your life, I want to say in the early 2000s, I feel like we're going back, like all the way into the beginning of 2000s, when 2000s began, because that was a whole new era as well, right? And so we had all these unknowns that we stepped into, and here we are almost 25 years later into the 2000s. And so what of those, if you've been on this earth that long, right? And so what of the early 2000s, if you look at the 2000s and the early 2000s, is maybe a part or aspect of yourself that is now kind of coming back online? And what part of the journey are you recognizing that you have moved on from, or that you can see this pivotal big change in your life, or how it has changed, that you've kind of not just transformed something that is returning back to you in a more divine expression. So what's coming back to you, what's inspiring you from that long ago that is now coming back for this next journey with you? And what I mean by that is this could be a part of your identity coming back online. This could be maybe an old connection. Maybe it is maybe it's a move back to somewhere that you may have left all the many years ago. Maybe there is a change. Maybe there is just a version of you that you left back there because life became challenging and hard. What is there? What is there? And so you can kind of pick almost any year in that 2000s, or you may notice there's a whole lot of things. And so this Gemini is kind of giving us a bit of an opportunity, along with the Sag, to kind of have fun with this. Even though we have other things happening, my eye is twitching like crazy. Even though we have struggles and challenges and things coming up, the twitch is just really getting. We also have the opportunity to be able to incorporate bringing our joy back in, sparking our joy, finding the things that are sparking our joy. And so it's just like we are being given a match, and we have that little flint thing on the matchbox that lights the match. And it feels like we're being given a magic wand that we can spark. And it's being telling us, what can we use to spark this is what we can use to spark our inspiration, to spark our courage, if it's something we have to walk through, to spark our courage, to remind us who we are. to remind us that we have gotten through difficult situations before. We can get through difficult situations again. We were happy once, we can be happy again. We're wealthy once, we can be wealthy again. If we're poor, we can be poor again, but doesn't mean we're going there, right? It just means that everything is possible. And if everything is possible, then maybe it's possible that we can overcome through the challenges that may be facing us right now with the mature, transmuted energy or the wisdom that we have had to use in the past to overcome those times and those challenges and those difficult situations. And that we're being given that key again. We're being given the matured, the divinely infused, the transmuted, the growing virtue to be able to now to step forward into our future. Holy shit, that was a long way around. And so this is giving us that opportunity to be able to use our past, use the tools that the wisdom of the past that once was just knowledge and making not smart new moves, but what is now our wisdom that is now coming back to us is great wisdom, great, powerful, virtuous energy, being inspired by the angelic realm to use this tool from our spirit to get into our spirit and to feel the power that is moving us, that is guiding us, that is directing us as we move forward. So yeah, we can feel the shadow. Yeah, we can see it. And there's going to be a lot of chatter inside. There's a lot going on, but there is this higher expression and this evolved self, because nothing of the past is going to be wasted. It is going to be transmuted. It's going to provide to us what we need to be able to go forward and to be able to make the choices that we are being faced with as we move forward. So I don't know if this makes sense to you, but this is the message that they gave to me to share. And so finding that piece of the self that is now matured, that has the intelligence, that has the knowing to be able to guide you and for you to be at peace and content with yourself in just knowing that no matter what of the past, you did the best that you could do with what you had. And here you are now, you've gained wisdom, you got knowledge. How can I use this for the better of my life and for the better of the life of the people, for the better of the life of people that are in my life? And don't be surprised by unexpected surprises or about things that begin to move us in new directions. We may have mountain to climb, but we got good mountain climbing shoes. We got good ropes, right? It's like we got great threads of wisdom and knowledge to guide us through. We may be inspired and we may get offers and opportunities and beautiful things that are coming in to really, truly that just like says, holy shit, how did this happen? I don't know how this happened. So there is this and there's that, but it's about being in the middle. It's about knowing that whatever is coming is whatever is here. If we face it from our middle self, if we face it from the highest expression of ourselves, if we face it from there, we can overcome, we can get through, and we can ask, and we can. Sometimes things are just too big for us. And if they're too big for us, they're not too big for God, for creator, for source, whatever it is for you. And they're not too big for the angels. They're not too big for the holy realm. They're not too big for the Magi. And we have the Magi who are here with us. And this is where the ancient angels come in as we're going through this season. And so there's a lot that is happening. And then after this, we're moving into the winter solstice. And that's where light begins to come back in. So yeah, you may be feeling a little more of the darkness of the energy. You may be feeling the tired, the exhausted, but there's got to be something. There's got to be something that pulls us, and that comes from our soul, because our soul is always fighting for us. It's the one thing that believes in us more than we believe in ourselves. It's the one thing that fights for us. It's the one thing that loves us more than we could ever possibly love ourselves, because it does not quit on us. And we are not here to quit on ourselves. We're here to keep moving, keep going, but to be able to utilize and use this energy of the past, transmute it back through the transformational journey to come back from ground zero, back in and coming out on the other side, like the star being sucked into the dark hole, into that dark hole, and then coming out on the other side. We don't come out the same person. We don't ever return as that same person. but the parts of us that we have shut down, the parts of us that we have not existed in for a long time, maybe the parts that we need to turn back on, to bring that part back in a little bit, because it will be needed for this next stage and for this next part of the journey that is about to be walked or about to be taken. And yeah, I don't know, but I feel like something big is unfolding. I feel like there's a lot of big unfolding. And on the flip of this is I really keep seeing, and I'm going to mention this in with discernment, and I really keep seeing the cruelty of humanity. And I keep seeing the lies and the deceit that have been fed to us over the years, over and over again. I keep seeing the unnecessary choices and decision and the corruption. And there's been deep, deep corruptions, and there has been wrong choices made. And it's the everyday person that pays the price for those that keep trying to play God. And so we are going to somehow, I don't know when, I don't know how, but I do keep seeing that you can't keep playing God and not expect that you will be met by the truth, not met that you will be met by true God, right? Like true, like the expression of that, whatever that means. So the light, so it shines a light upon the areas of life that have where those who know better but still make the wrong choices, still do things to better themselves in a negative way, right? Like that at the cost of others, right? That rise, if you rise at the cost of others, and you rise at that cost of like politics. I'm really seeing this through the politician lens, and I'm not political, but really seeing that rise and seeing, I don't know, there's going to be like, I just see the earth opening, massive quake, but I just see like, it's like where everything opens and everything gets exposed. And it feels so much closer now than it has ever felt. And so I feel like what we have learned in the past and the transmuted energy and the rise of that everyday energy, that everyday person in being, living from their highest expression of themselves, are going to be able to see this. Like there's something unfolding and I don't know what it is. And so I'm like, I'm seeing the worst of humanity, but I'm also seeing the best of humanity. I'm also seeing the pain, the hurt, but I'm also seeing the joy. So I am seeing all sides because everything does exist. And so if everything exists and I get to pull on this and I get to pull this in, if I can spark my joy and my light brightens, and we can brighten our own lights, because it's us that make the difference. If we can brighten our own lights and we can be a light in somebody else's life, or we can inspire somebody else, even if it's a hello, even if it's to help bring groceries out, I don't care. Even if it's you putting on lipstick and feeling like you got the courage to do this now, or that you feel like you don't need to hide, whatever that may be for you. Wear that clothes, wear that bright shirt, wear that outfit. And if you were told in the past you can't wear that color, oh, you can't wear that color, but you put it on and you feel good in it, you freaking can wear it. And so stop. It's the point of where we stop allowing ourselves to be limited and stop at those roadblock blocks or those barricades. And we're breaking down the barricades. We're breaking down the walls. We're breaking things down. We're breaking things apart that once limited us and stopped us. And what we're doing is we're moving beyond the fear, the false evidence appearing real, and we're moving forward into a place that is filled with more faith and more hope. And that all begins with how we move our roadblocks out of the way, our fear stories, our false evidence appearing real stories. And we start to tell ourselves a new truth and start to exist in a new truth. We start to bring that change in. And that's what I got for you today. And so I hope this inspires you somehow. And I would love to hear from you in the comments through this crazy channeling that just went down, as they're moving all those pieces. And I got to try to bring them in and put them together. So I hope in some way I've put this together in a way that does relate and it is understandable for you. Have a beautiful weekend, and I will speak to you next week. Much love. Oh, wait. If you're free on Sunday, and you would like to join us for the 2025 online group, the forecast energy that we're going to be working through where we're going to bring in the wisdom, the knowledge, and the channeling for each and every zodiac sign. And we're going to talk about the energy of each sign. We're going to talk about the archetype of each sign. And we're going to and as a collective, and the collective energy that is associated to each and every energy sign. And so it is an online event through Zoom, and you can sign up in the academy. Go to mteacademy.ca. We'd love to see you join us. And so the link is also in the section below here on YouTube. So yeah, that's where we would love to see you come join us and to be a part of this. It is 2.5 hours or 2 hours, and it starts 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Sunday, the 15th. We look forward to hopefully seeing some of you join us there. Much love.